A guitar transformed into a helicopter, an automatic weapon, and the cries of a wailing village. Today, we're adding Machine Gun by Jimi Hendrix to the playlist. Welcome to Soular Rock Radio, where freedom is a frequency. A Machine Gun was recorded live at New York's Fillmore East on New Year's Day 1970 and appeared on the Band of Gypsys album. The Band of Gypsys was Jimmy's latest evolution. It was a trio comprised of his old military friend Billy Cox on bass and Buddy Miles on drums. And even though the project was pretty short-lived, it would go on to form the foundation of the funk rock that would take shape over the next decade. Now, it's worth noting that this was an all-black trio, which was a departure from his work with the Jimi Hendrix Experience, but we'll get into that in another episode. Machine Gun is a protest of war, and while the backdrop is Vietnam, Jimmy is talking about the war in the streets of American cities. He dedicates the song
to the draggy scene that's going on. All the soldiers that are fighting in Chicago and Milwaukee and New York. Oh yes, and all the soldiers fighting in Vietnam.
From there, he proceeds to give us 12 minutes of sonic warfare, mixing blues, rock, and funk. Now, detractors of Jimmy's virtuosity are going to try and say that all he did was use the pentatonic. Haters are going to hate after all. But in this case, it's true. The 5 notes of the pentatonic make up a majority of what he's doing. This is a sound that we're all more or less familiar with. Right? But that's not where his genius lies. One of the truths of Soular Rock is that imagination is the truest source of knowledge. It's in his ability to imagine those notes in new ways, and in so doing, transform this instrument into a wand of wonder. An apparatus of amazement. A sword of splendor. Let me just. In Machine Gun, he uses his guitar to capture the sounds of war. Guns, bombs, screams, cries. But he does it to show the absurdity of this world, all while laying a pathway to imagine a new one. He says, "Evil man make me kill you, even though we families apart." The Band of Gypsys formed in late 1969 following his Woodstock performance. He was evolving, musically and politically. In fact, even in that same Fillmore East performance that he recorded Machine Gun, he introduces his song Voodoo Child's Slight Return as the Black Panthers' national anthem. And he ain't talking about the comic book. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to do an episode on that song. Jimmy opens Machine Gun by saying, "Happy New Year, first of all. I hope we have about 1 million or 2 million more of them if we can get over this summer." Sadly, he wouldn't. He passed away on September 18th, 1970, just before the season ended. He was 27. Most of what the world knows about Jimi Hendrix comes from a roughly 4-year period, which sounds crazy. I mean, such a relatively short period of time, yet he was able to expand psychic and sonic possibility by so much. But as we discussed before, in Soular Rock, time doesn't work in the same linear fashion as it does on Earth. Jimmy is still with us, teaching us, inspiring us, showing us how to bend notes and imagine new worlds, giving soldiers in the streets of Chicago and Milwaukee and New York something to fight for. Yo, this has been Soular Rock Radio, where freedom is a frequency, and we frequent it frequently. Yo, hit the link in the description for the Soular Rock Radio playlist. And hey, if you haven't already, subscribe and let your people know we are building a Soular Rock movement, and I want you to be a part of it, all right? So until next time, peace.